Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. Today we're taking a look at a series of tests on the Ariat Rebar Performance shirt. This is a excerpt, if you will, from the full video on my full review on this shirt. If you want more information about this, I'll put a card up in the corner. The next thing I want to do is to look at the airflow performance of three shirts. First, I have a product from Champion called their Double Dry shirt. This is a shirt I would consider to be in the same category as the Ariat Rebar shirt that we looked at earlier, albeit there is no front pocket on this. And then I also have a basic white cotton t-shirt. There's no prints on this to be able to obscure or to otherwise detract from the airflow or the breathability of the shirt. Obviously, some shirts with a lot of printing on them just will not breathe because the printing will not let air flow through the printing, such as your favorite sports team logo or something of the like. So on the left here, I have the Cobalt 24 volt max battery operated fan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this all the way up, and we're going to get a airspeed reading from my anemometer here. And then we're going to overlay each one of these shirts behind it to see how much air it is able to pull through the shirt and push out. The suction created by the fan will hold the shirt, a single layer of the shirt fabric on the rear side of the fan. And then we'll be able to measure the speed that's able to pull the air through on the other side. So to start, we're going to turn the fan all the way up to its maximum speed. The anemometer here was set at 0. We're going to set this to find the max speed. There is our max reading, 866 feet per second. I'm sorry, 866.2 feet per minute. We're going to zero that out. I'll have to re-zero it out before each test, and we're going to start by putting a basic cotton t-shirt. And so now we got the fan pulling air through the back of the basic cotton shirt. We're going to put the anemometer up here, put this into the max mode, and we'll see what the max airspeed is that we get being pulled through the basic cotton shirt. And so it looks like our maximum airspeed is 374 feet per minute with the basic cotton shirt. Now we'll go for the Champion shirt. So now we got the Champion shirt all the way around the fan. We'll re-zero the meter. And the Champion shirt comes up at 393.7 feet per minute. A little bit more than the basic cotton shirt. Now let's see how that compares to the Ariat shirt. So now with the Ariat fully draped over the fan, we're going to be having to do two tests. The first one, like this, where we show the fabric that would cover your chest, is over the rear side of the fan. And the reason why we have to do two tests is because of the special vent panel that goes down the midsection of the back. That will be our second test. With the front side of the shirt now on the back side of the fan, we're going to zero out our meter and give this a quick test. With the meter set to max, let's see what our max airflow rate or airflow speed is. There you go. It looks like we're getting 413.4 feet per minute. Now we'll turn the shirt around. And now with the back vent panel of the shirt down the back side of the fan, we'll re-zero our meter and set it on max. And the vent panel down the back is showing 413.4 feet per minute. I'll put these into a graphic, put on the screen, convert it to metric, and look at the percent difference, and we'll talk about it here in just a second. All right, so let's compare the airspeed here side by side here in a table. I've converted these to feet per second as well as the metric kilometers per second, just for everyone's understanding. So if we look at the baseline airspeed when we had no shirt over the fan, we're looking at about 14.4 feet per second, or 4.4 kilometers per second. The cotton t-shirt degraded that performance by a fair bit, reducing 14.4 to 6.2 feet per second, or down to 1.9 kilometers per second. So we're looking at less than 50% of the airspeed just by putting a cotton t-shirt on. Numbers get a little bit better when we switch to the Champion double dry shirt. The airspeed of 6.6 feet per second, or 2 kilometers per second. The Ariat Rebar shirt from the front side, so where there's no vent panel, resulted in 6.9 feet per second, or 2.1 kilometers per second. Down the back, with the back side that has that vent panel on the back side of the fan, we saw no difference compared to the front. So let's look at this in terms of a reduction in airspeed just on a percentile basis. Compared to no shirt, the cotton t-shirt dropped the airspeed by almost 57%. The Champion double dry dropped it by only about 55%. And the Ariat dropped the airspeed by about 52%. Now, if we use that cotton t-shirt as a baseline, the Champion double dry shirt represented an improvement in airspeed compared to that cotton t-shirt of 5.3%. And the Ariat Rebar shirt was about 10.5% more airspeed compared to the cotton t-shirt. And so I think there's definitely a benefit here if we're just looking at some of these products side by side in terms of the amount of air that can be pushed through and circulate, and at least when you look at it on a percentile basis. And so what does this mean for the amount of sweat and perspiration that can be removed from your body and allowed to evaporate through to help your body stay cool in the summer? This is just what the data shows that I collected. Your experience might be different.
But I want to see how these three shirts wick away water. So I've got 150 milliliters of water poured into the beakers that you see on the shirt here, and myself and my lovely assistant will pour these on at the same time, and then we're going to watch. I'll put a little timer on the screen, and we'll see which shirt dries out the fastest. Think about this as the sweat evaporating off of your body, and which one is going to keep you cooler the fastest. The one caveat I need to point out here on the Ariat, it's going to be poured towards the center, where the back is a slightly different mesh that I showed you earlier in this video. The other ones are consistent, and there is no difference between the front and the back. This is a porcelain, or this is a ceramic tile tabletop. So that's as uniform as we get all the way across. And so my lovely assistant is going to help me pour, and we're going to be pouring this right on the center of the chest. You'll see the wet spots, and then with the timer on the screen, it'll help you be able to know when it's fully dried. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we're just a little bit over a half hour into this test, and I think we're probably going to stop it here. And just for reference, right now the outside temperature is 89.2 degrees with a heat index of 102.3 degrees Fahrenheit, a dew point of 77.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is certainly weather that you might sweat in. At least I would expect most people would sweat. And so after a little over a half hour, If I pick up the shirt, this is the basic cotton shirt, we can see that I can feel that this is definitely still damp and has a lot of the moisture still trapped inside it. If I go over and grab the Ariat shirt, there is basically no moisture left in here. There's just a little bit of residual on the back that was outside of the sun, and that's it. And if I grab the Champion shirt, we have basically the same thing, although I feel like there's slightly more water in the Champion shirt. The Champion shirt is definitely a little denser in terms of its fabric compared to the Ariat shirt. And so I think it's pretty fair to say that the Ariat does a better job of dissipating sweat in this simulated test than the cotton t-shirt. In fact, both of these shirts do a far better job than the cotton t-shirt. And I think the Ariat actually even outperforms this Champion shirt in terms of how much water it was able to allow to evaporate off of the fabric.